Bunny's book club pick for the month of January is Portrait of a Thief, so grab your coffee, grab your annotating supplies, a warming cup of tea, and whatever you may need, because we're going on an adventure of delving into this novel. It's going to be spoiler filled, so let's get to it. I'm now on page 31 and I'm getting really confused on all of the characters. I am not very good at dual POV books, especially when they're multiple dual POV books. So I've got 3 characters written down so far that we've had perspectives from, which is Will, Lily and Alex. And then we also have Irene, I think, or Irene, who's Will's sister, I believe, if I remember correctly. So there are quite a lot of characters being mentioned, and then of course we have the detective in there as well. We have the organisation themselves, and I'm just finding it a little bit overwhelming at the moment, but I feel like it's because I haven't read enough of it to have each of their narrative styles down to a taste, and I can't differentiate them in my head. And I sort of, when I'm getting lost in the reading, I have to then revert back to the chapter heading to see whose perspective it is. Yeah, I feel like because they're all so new and fresh and you don't really know any of the characters' backgrounds or stories or anything distinctive about them, it's hard to distinct them in your head as well. So I'm just keeping a note of who is who and who is related to who and who's interacted to, blah blah blah. Yeah, I haven't really read a multiple dual POV book that has more than 2 characters, I don't think. So this is a really interesting concept for me. But in terms of the writing style, it is fantastic. I am flying through this book and absolutely loving every single moment of it. I'm just finding it so enthralling, and just the mystery aspect running through it alongside all of these interactions with these characters. Yeah, I'm just really intrigued to see where the story goes and what happens with it and how it progresses. So that's my little update so far. Going to progress a few pages further, I'm just adoring how the characters are portrayed and the rawness and realness that they bring. They've just accepted the job, and how relatable they are acting in this scenario. And I find that it's so obvious, but in some novels you just find that these characters almost feel like they're invincible, they've got nothing left to lose, whereas this vulnerability and rawness that these characters are displaying shows such character depth, and I just feel like it elevates the writing to just another level. Roughly 150 pages through now, the Portrait of a Thief, and they've just completed their first heist in Sweden, and we kind of got some background information on how they did it and the precautions they took. And wow, I am just absolutely loving the writing style, the art history woven in there, the politics woven in there, the character development and depth, the fact that Irene and Alex's relationship was brewing and that Daniel's still in love with her, and the complex sibling relationship between Will and Irene. And it's just so good, and the writing is just so devourable, and like I say, having that history woven in there as well, and the immigration factor of how these people are feeling and their trauma and the real feelings that they are experiencing, and how that has been translated on the page, it just gives these characters so much depth, and I hold them so close in my heart. I'm so scared for these characters, and I'm just so intrigued to see how this progresses, so I'll keep you updated. A little check-in, I'm 194 pages through and they still have so many heists left to do, so I'm really conscious and really scared that they're not going to be able to do them and they might get caught, but the relationships are blossoming and the character development is so good so far, and I am really getting accustomed to these different point of views and these different characters, and I find all of the perspectives so unique and so interesting, with having that tie of history and nostalgia and just the vulnerability and rawness and realness of certain aspects of their lives, of wanting to know what it feels like to be in their parents' situations and where their parents grew up, and know the sacrifices that their parents made for them to have the life that they have now, but also want to know and be aware of that history that their parents have. Yeah, I'm so intrigued to see where this develops and where it goes, and I'll keep you updated. So I just finished Portrait of a Thief, and oh my goodness, this was so good. It was so much more than a heist book, than just everything that I thought this book originally was. It was just so phenomenal. The little moment at the end between Daniel and his dad, and him telling his dad that he loved him, and the fact that Alex is going through therapy, and Irene stops being so perfectionist around herself, and Will and Irene fix their sibling relationship, and Alex and Irene's relationship as well, and Lily. All of these characters developed in so many ways and felt still so raw, so vulnerable, so human, and just so relatable and realistic. This art history and this conversation around who art belongs to, stolen art, and it included so many important themes and topics and discussions, and I thought the writing was absolutely beautiful and it was done phenomenally. Yeah, it just made me feel so many emotions, and I think it is such a powerful book, and I feel as though everybody should read it. It was so fun, yet so real and raw and necessary, and the juxtapositions of those things made this book so good. So I'm rating it 4.5 stars because I had such a fun time while reading this. It was just such an absolute joy, and I hope that you loved it as much as I did, and I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. So in terms of our February Bunnies Book Club pick, we are going to be reading Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reid. I have read For the Wolf, I think it's called, by Ava Reid, in which I did enjoy, so I'm really interested to read Juniper and Thorn. That won the poll that I posted for the Bunnies Book Club pick for the month of February, so I hope that you join in next month, and for now I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you have a wonderful day or night. Until next time, friends, bye.